different people who run the security groups and things like that. And getting them all on the same page is something that we kind of figure out a way to orchestrate and make happen, understand what the technologies are, what possible solutions there are. So in a perfect world, there'd be no NAT and everyone could just connect using basic SIP, but things are not that simple. There's a lot more to it. There are specific, vendors of firewalls and things like that I'd rather not name that cause all kinds of networking issues with real-time media streams more generally, not just for our application. And so finding creative ways of dealing with that is something that we've had to do over time. So other things that challenge us, security changes in Chrome implementation, that has happened sometime now, and basically other Chrome changes too that are perhaps more subtle, that I would defer to some of my colleagues to talk about further. They're not here conveniently. And call setup time is a big one. So trickle ice is something that we are very heavily looking at to kind of to make that happen. And so this gets to so WebRTC and how we use it is we use a lot of SIP and RTP to our actual end devices. So either in the browser or on mobile devices. And these, using technologies like SIP and RTP, or at least SIP, on the edge is a little bit challenging for reasons of connection establishment and keeping that connection up. Call setup time, and also web and mobile devs are not really VoIP engineers and want to do things that are more web-like, which involves passing lots of JSON around. There are all kinds of mechanisms that have been worked on to deal with that. And this is something that we're actively looking at. So we're looking into and starting to build a system that will go and basically gateway a SIP world and basically have the last mile dealing with more web-friendly technologies. So ICE and RTCP and RTP all come standard in JavaScript framework. Basically, a developer does not really need to do a whole lot in order to get some of that functionality out of a browser of your choice. And then they're basically left with the signaling aspects of what needs to get done. Instead of using SIP, we're investigating the use of JSON to go and make that kind of stuff happen. So I kept this short and sweet, and I'm pretty sure that's all I have here today. Any questions?
So for SIP to WebRTC conversion, what do you use? Like how do you, if someone is calling from a regular phone, so you're getting the call SIP, and then how are you converting it to WebRTC? Like what is the gateway that you use?
So right now we are actually doing SIP all the way to the user agent. In this case, it would be user agent in the browser. So I think we're using JS SIP for that. So which is basically knows how to tickle all of the right parts of the JSON, the JavaScript hooks inside of Chrome to set up a WebRTC connection. And so there's a lot of transition in between there, but from a signaling standpoint. But that's basically how we get SIP and connection establishment all the way from PSTN to a web client.
Have you built your own infrastructure in terms of servers and the PSTN/SIP connection, or do you actually use Google Cloud, Amazon, whatever?
Sorry, I guess I didn't.
Yeah. So my question is, are you leveraging any cloud provider to?
Oh yeah, certainly. We are leveraging Google's cloud platform for much of our application. to facilitate the ability to handle, large companies and enterprises and basically scale up to a pretty large number. So yeah, definitely. And so it's a combination of both Google Cloud Platform as well as our own as well as our own network. So
How do you segregate,
so
services on one or the other?
So generally, we will take most of the media issues and media handling that we have to do either with WebRTC or with the public telephone network, and move that onto our network and our servers. And most of the control functions of that stuff, we will move into the more cloud application stuff that currently lives in Google.
In your previous diagram, you showed RTCP to your CPA or CPA on the endpoints. So do you terminate RTCP?
I think that's still under discussion. We're not quite at the point where we want to handle that, but that brings up a very good point, because the RTCP, generally, if there's some kind of network issue, it's less likely that will be between these hosts. And there is something to be said about passing the RTCP back all the way to this media server, but there might be opportunities to manipulate it here. That's something which we haven't quite figured out yet, but we're working on it. Yeah, great point. All right. Thank you for coming. And,
Thank you so much. Any additional question from the audience? Okay, so the next edition will be hopefully around 6 weeks, probably in the valley, Mountain View. So I hope you guys could commute and attend to the next edition.
There's a lot of pizza left, so if you're hungry, make sure you grab a piece or a box. Sure.
So my developer is asking to ask you, what is the secret gateway that you guys suggest for